If you're looking to drive growth for your SaaS business, your pricing strategy may be the thing that's either propelling you forward or the invisible hand that's actually holding you back. Think about it for a second. Let's just assume everything stays the same. Your win rate's the same, the leads are the same, the pipeline's the same, but your average deal size, how much you charge each customer, doubles. Instantly, you'll be able to increase your MRR and drive growth for your SaaS business. At the same time, if you're going out to the market and you're saying, we're the cheapest CRM in the world, customers aren't necessarily gonna buy your product versus Salesforce, which is a trusted brand. This is where the nuance of pricing becomes really interesting. But if done right, you can actually tweak your pricing strategy, you can revamp it, and you can actually use it as an invisible hand that drives growth for your SaaS business. In this episode, I'm gonna walk you through the 3 principles that you absolutely need to know about how to revamp your pricing strategy. And if you stay till the end, I'm gonna give you a bonus one that brings it all together so you can really kickstart that growth and also give more value to your customers. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you grow your SaaS businesses faster with an unstoppable strategy. Now, if you're new to this channel, welcome. I drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches on how to grow your SaaS business faster. So if you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with the TK energy. Now, if you're already part of this community, if you're part of my SaaS go-to-market coaching programs, my people, welcome back. It's really awesome to see you over here. When we first started ToutApp, the OG sales engagement platform, we were just selling to salespeople. We had a product-led motion. We didn't even have a sales team, and we were charging $30 a month. This is baby TK coding it up in his weekend, in his 2-bedroom apartment, and rolling it out and saying, I'm gonna charge $30 a month for this. 2 days after, I'm like, I am charging way too much. Maybe you should go to $9 a month. It's like a tool that salespeople are paying for themselves to generate pipeline. And thankfully, an old friend of mine, a college friend, convinced me not to lower the prices. Fast forward, sales engagement became an entire category, and we went from $30 a month to $49 a month to $99 a month to, by the time we exited the company to Marketo, we were charging $125 per user per month for that product with a very similar value proposition. Here's the question: what exactly goes into a pricing strategy? Why is it that we were able to increase our prices without compromising our win rates, our lead volume, our pipeline, or anything else in the market? Why was it that we could charge $125 per user per month when they were also paying the same amount for the CRM, which they also needed to buy for our product to work? This is the black arts of pricing and packaging in SaaS. And in this episode, I'm gonna walk you through the core principle that governs pricing, and I'm gonna walk you through the 3 principles that you can use and apply to actually revamp your pricing strategy to increase your MRR growth. And in the end, if you stay till the end, I'll give you a bonus principle that combines these 3 and shows you how you can really kickstart growth for your SaaS business. So if you're excited to dig into principle number 0, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. Let's dig right into it. Okay, so the core thing you need to understand when it comes to pricing is that there's always this seesaw. There's always this ratio that governs pricing when customers are thinking about if they're gonna buy your product and pay for your product or not. The first thing they consider is what is the value they're going to get. This is if they use the software, what is the tangible business return on investment that they're gonna get? Are they gonna make more money? Are they gonna save money? Are they gonna reduce risk? And there's usually some dollar value associated with it. The other thing they think about is the price, meaning how much are they actually paying for your product to get this value? Our job as founders, as go-to-market leaders, as sellers, as marketers, is to communicate exactly what this value is going to be. And it's also our job to show that they're gonna get 10x the amount they're going to pay for our software. That's it. That is the core thing you need to understand when it comes to pricing and packaging and communicating your value to your future customers. You need to show that you're actually going to deliver 10x in terms of the return. If they're spending $30 with you, you need to make sure that you're putting back $300 or more into their pocket, and you need to communicate that value. That is the rule of thumb for software. I didn't make this up. This is just how the world works. And so anything that we do as we dig into these principles, I'm gonna keep going back to this core ROI equation, because everything that we do has to be tethered to this 10x return on investment equation. Quick example for ToutApp Scout app, we would tell people it's $30 a month, it's $1 a day, but what's your commission on one extra deal? It most certainly was more than $30 in a month. And so with additional pipeline, they would be able to pay that back. Same thing as we fast forwarded and started selling directly to the sales leader or the CEO of a company. We would just say, what's one extra deal and how much is the cost of the platform for all of your reps? And almost immediately we were able to communicate the value they were going to get for their business. That's the core thing you need to understand anytime you're going into any sort of pricing strategy work, any sort of pricing discussion, any sort of communication of value. And guess what? Pricing is core to your go-to-market strategy, meaning as soon as you land on the website or you send that outbound email or you're running that ad, you need to start instilling exactly what the result they're going to get is, what the value is, so that by the time they see the price, they are already knowing exactly what to compare that number to. They're already knowing, oh, this is going to generate more pipeline for me. The $30 is nothing, or the $125 per user per month is nothing compared to a $50,000 deal that I'm going to get, and it'll pay for itself in the first month. So with that out of the way, let's talk about 3 tactics that you can deploy today to your existing go-to-market motion, to your pricing strategy, so that you can just earn more money with the same number of leads, the same number of deals, and the same win rate that you have. And there's a caveat here. We're going to structure this in a way so that you don't mess up your current metrics, which means that as you revamp your pricing strategy, it should actually help you earn more money with the same machine that you have. And then you can use that extra money to invest back into your go-to-market strategy, to scale it more and to grow it more. So principle number 1 that you can do is you can always charge more. So this is something that I always come across when I'm talking to SaaS founders. They'll pitch me on their product and they'll say, oh, we're like Salesforce CRM, but cheaper. And I always cringe at that, because the reality is when you communicate that you are the cheaper option, you pretty much are losing the game. Most B2B SaaS software, especially if you're selling to worthy target markets, if you're not selling to the bottom of the barrel market, if you're selling into proper businesses that are profitable or are growing or well-funded, in those scenarios, they're not necessarily looking for the cheaper alternative. They're gonna trust their entire business process on your platform. They're not looking for the cheap one. They're looking for the right one. And so a lot of times when you go in and you communicate the value of the product and you say, oh, by the way, we're really cheap compared to the competition, almost immediately you lose credibility in the sales process. And ironically, even though you are cheaper, you'll lose the deal because they'll think in their heads, oh, these guys are like the bargain basement offering. I'd rather go for the Salesforce, even if it's more, because it's worth it. And my business deserves the best. So almost always founders and go-to-market leaders, by being the cheapest in the market or trying to be the value option, are almost communicating that don't take us seriously. This is not worth it. There are better competitors out there that are going to charge you more. And it's never for no reason, because the reality is, this is something the business owner also thinks about. If I'm paying you more and more customers are paying you more and you're an established brand, you're taking that money and you're not just pocketing it, you're investing it into your product, you're investing it into your R&D, you're investing into customer success, into technical support, all the support pillars that go into a proper SaaS offering. So I know intrinsically my money, the extra money I'm paying, is going for good work. There's good reason for it. If you're going in and saying we're the cheapest in the market, or you're significantly lower price than the rest of the market, you immediately start losing deals for no good reason. So it's almost in your best interest to figure out a way to charge more, or at least commensurate to the rest of the market. Be competitive to the rest of the market, and then explain, look, we're competitive to the rest of the market, but here's why you get way more value with us, with our feature set, with our differentiation, with our focus, with us, and that's why you should spend that same dollar amount with us instead of this other guy. And that's such a much better way to compete, instead of being the cheaper alternative. No one wants the cheaper version for themselves, especially when it comes to B2B software. Now, there's one core thing that I've come across when I've worked with founders on revamping their pricing strategy and charging more. There's work here. You gotta look at the competitors, you gotta look at your feature set, you gotta package this the right way. And you also wonder, well, what do I do with my existing customers? You don't want to actually cause your pricing strategy change to increase churn. That would be opposite of increasing your MRR. So one of the things that I always coach founders to do is to grandfather existing customers. So anyone that's paying, say, $30 a month can continue to pay $30 a month, and that's totally cool. Except we'll email them and say, hey, listen, you are on our $30 a month plan. We are now sunsetting that plan. You're grandfathered in. You can use it for as long as you like. However, any new features that are coming are not going to be available in that $30 a month plan anymore because it's grandfathered. If at any point in the future you want to use one of our new features, then just upgrade to the new plan, which is now $49. It's a small bump up, but you get a whole bunch of new features. However, at the same time, we're not raising prices on you. You can just keep using it and be happy with the product. Just by having that type of conversation, two things happen. One, you communicate that you're taking care of your customers and you're valuing them. And two, you're signaling to them that there's something better that they can upgrade to over time, which means that you're probably going to increase your MRR because at least a certain percentage of those existing grandfathered customers are going to upgrade to the new version as the new features come out. And net, the same number of leads, same amount of pipeline, same conversion rate, same win rate, you make more money on every single new customer that you get, and some of the existing customers will upgrade over time as well. Once you put that into play, the second thing you can do, this is principle number 2, is you can offer an upgrade to yearly. Now, I remember when we were switching right from the product-led motion to a sales-led motion. We started having salespeople, and we're like, look, if we're gonna pay them commission, we really need every deal to be a certain amount. Otherwise, I can't pay their salary and their commission and pay for everything else. We need to have the economics work. So at $30 a month, paying monthly, there wasn't enough cash coming in for actually giving out meaningful commissions. But at the same time, convincing the reps to say, hey, I know on the website it says you can pay monthly and you don't even have to talk to me, but you could pay yearly and I make my commission. That's a tough sell. Salespeople were reluctant to do that. They were weird about offering it. And honestly, it wasn't really the best customer experience and the conversion rate would not have been that high. So we started offering an incentive for upgrading to yearly. And you've seen this in B2B software, but a lot of people don't apply it for their own businesses. What you can do is you can go to your customers, or for every new deal, you can have your reps say, hey, you can pay us monthly, and that's totally cool. However, if you stay with us for the full year, if you commit to a 1-year contract and you pay for that upfront, we'll give you a 20% discount. And that 20% discount may be kind of steep to you depending on what your math is. You may be like, oh my God, I could just make that money by earning it every month. But there's always this equation of future value of money versus current value of money. If you started getting 1-year deals and they paid all that cash upfront, it's essentially free money for you at a discounted rate that you can reinvest into a revamped go-to-market strategy and grow faster. So it's net a win-win for everyone. The customer saves money, the rep gets their commission, more cash comes into the business, and also one side effect of this, churn tends to be lower. A certain percentage of customers may churn on month 3 or month 6, depending on how healthy your product and your business is. But if you're doing 1-year deals, they're definitely staying with you for a full year, and that inherently improves churn and net increases MRR. So that's principle number 2. Now, I have a third one and then a bonus one, but before we keep going, let me just pause here for a second. Are you starting to see the power in this? One of the cool things about this approach is you can do each of these principles, including the bonus one that I'm going to tell you about, and it all exponentially compounds and therefore increases your growth without changing any of the economics on your business. What that means is you can take the same number of leads, the same win rate, and with a much better ratio of value to price, you can actually earn more business and increase your MRR without changing much. You can also start to see where if you start positioning yourself as the premium price product versus the bargain basement product, you might actually win more deals and customers may trust you more. With more money coming into the business, you can actually invest in a better customer experience, more engineers, more R&D, more pipeline, and that can actually inherently make your business that much healthier. So it's net, it all compounds and makes your business that much faster. And you can also start to see where pricing, just by communicating the price and how people gauge you based on whether you're the cheapest in the market or one of the premium ones or one of the mid-size ones, just by communicating that value differently and that price differently, customers will start to perceive you differently. And you can start to see why, because of all of these reasons, the simple thing like your price can be the invisible hand that's either pushing you forward and helping you grow or holding you back. If you're starting to see the power in this, can I just get a yes in the comments below? And also smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that, and so do we. We put a lot of love into these videos. Also, pricing is just one of the strategies that you can employ to grow your SaaS business. If you're in this stage where you're looking to grow your SaaS business, be sure to grab my completely free 5-point SaaS growth strategy guide, which includes 5 more strategies that you can use to actually drive growth for your SaaS business. You don't have to go anywhere right now. I'll link to it below. I'll tell you more about it at the end of this episode. Let's go to number 3. Okay, number 3 is to add a pro or an enterprise plan. Now, for every SaaS business, every single SaaS founder has an entire list of features that they're building. Their engineering team is working to fix bugs, but also add more features. And a lot of times what happens is you're adding those features and you're announcing those features and you're using that as a marketing asset, but you're adding it to the basic plan that you're charging people for. One of the most powerful things in SaaS is not just pricing, but also packaging. How you package the different features that you have and how you price each of those differently can be very powerful. So the easiest thing you can do is if you already have a basic tier and a plus tier, add a pro tier. If you already have one of those, revamp those so that people hit a dead wall after they've used the basic tier and they have to upgrade to the next tier. And look at your roadmap and see what are the features that you can add to the pro version so that people are more compelled to upgrade versus just staying on the same plan. This is super powerful because one, you're actually giving more value to people. You're actually adding to the software, which is great. But there's this weird thing with people. If you just give them something more for completely free, they don't value it as much as saying, hey, we have this new thing. It's really awesome. It's part of our pro tier. Do you want to upgrade? All of a sudden, you'll notice that they'll value it more. And that actually increases retention for customers, which is also really powerful. Now, obviously, if you're fixing bugs, if you're making existing features work better, then that should be part of your existing plan. You should keep making the product work better for people. But if you're adding to that core loop of the product, if you're adding this one more feature that is a game changer on how they use the product, add that to a pro tier, and almost instantly you'll be able to upgrade people and increase your MRR. And also at the same time, customers will value you more because they'll look at this and it's like, oh my God, they're really investing in this and we're deepening our relationship with this. When people pay you money and they get value in return, they're actually happier. And so they'll stay with you for longer. So that's principle number 3, add a pro plan or an enterprise plan out of the product roadmap features that are coming out. And this is part of pricing and part packaging, how you can package this in different ways to actually be more effective for your customers and make the software a lot more effective for them. So I gave you the 3 principles. Now, there's one thing that I didn't mention that kind of pulls all these 3 things together. If you just do these 3 things, I guarantee you will be able to increase the growth of your business without changing your internal number of leads. The same number of leads, the same conversion rates, but people will buy more and will buy 4 more. But there's one more that actually can combine these 3 to deliver even more value. Now, before I tell you what that is, let me explain the context behind it. There's one part of this equation that I didn't introduce in the beginning of this video, mainly because I didn't want to overcomplicate it. But I can add to it now because you're with me. And if you're still watching, it means you're getting value. So smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It loves you when you do that. The missing piece here is when people look at this, they'll look at the value, they'll look at the price. And if you've been in SaaS long enough, I'm sure you've been hit up by cold emails from people saying, hey, we'll do this service for you, but you pay nothing. We guarantee it'll be great and we'll deliver results. And if we don't deliver results, you don't pay us anything. But if we do, you pay us. On the surface, it sounds like a great offer, but those offers don't convert very well, actually. You wanna know why? And I'm sure it's the same reason why you probably haven't said yes to an offer like that. It communicates the fact that they don't value their time. They're like, look, we'll work tirelessly for you. And if it doesn't work, you don't pay us anything. I'm like, well, that means you have nothing to lose, especially time. And more importantly, sure, I'm not paying you anything right now, but I'm still gonna have to spend my time. I'm gonna have to give you an extension of my brand equity. I'm gonna have to give you access to my customers or my target customers. And that's a cost inherently. And that's one of the invisible pieces of this equation whenever you're selling your product. It's time. People aren't just paying the price, but they're also paying for their time. They have to implement the software. They have to roll it out. They have to mobilize their team to use it. They have to make sure they don't screw it up. They're committing their careers in addition to the price. They're paying you the money, but they also are committing their time. And one of the reasons we lose deals in SaaS is when it looks like, you know what, for us to get the value, in addition to the price, I also have to pay this time, and it's no longer a 10x return. In fact, it maybe is a negative return because I have to spend so much time to figure all this out. And that's one of the biggest reasons we lose deals, even though customers may not tell you that's the reason. A lot of times it's not budget. It's not that they don't have the money. It's that they just don't want to spend the time figuring all this out. It's software. You have to deploy it. You have to use it. And this is where the bonus principle comes in. One of the bonus ways that you can actually increase your average deal size, you can earn more money, and you can de-risk the value you offer to your customers is professional services. This is really powerful because it's not just about the fact that, hey, for an extra $10,000, we'll help you implement everything, we'll train your employees and we'll set it up. It's not just the fact that you're charging them more money. You might be like, well, but TK, my price just went up. It's no longer 10x ROI. But people look at professional services differently. They don't just look at it as cost of the software. They look at it as, oh my God, this is my insurance policy. This is me not having to spend as much time. This is me not having the risk of screwing it up. And in that scenario, it's actually coming out of this timeline item, which they value even more than the price, which is the money of the business for all practical purposes. It's their own time you're saving. And a lot of times when you add a professional services offering where you help them with onboarding, setup, training, rolling out, any one of those things or all of those things, sure, there are people that are involved that have to do these professional services on your team and the margins are slightly different, but still, it's an extra 10K in the bank for you, and the customers are more likely to buy because they're not worried about the time commitment, and they're gonna be more successful, which means your churn is gonna be healthier, they're gonna buy more, and you can get them to upgrade later on. All of these things come together when you actually add professional services. A lot of times, I work with about half venture-backed founders and half bootstrap founders. And the bootstrap founders are like, look, it's cash in the bank, we can hire a couple of resources, we can do it, not a big deal. They're really quick about doing it. The venture-backed founders are like, well, in my next fundraise, I'm gonna have to explain how the margins are lower on these services revenues. And the reality is, that's just not true. Now, sure, if your entire business is services and you have a little software thing, then VCs will look at it the wrong way. However, if you can go in and say, hey, look, we charge extra for our professional services. This is the revenue from the professional services. Majority is from the software. And by the way, we can easily farm this out to outside agencies over time, and that creates a partnership ecosystem. All of a sudden, the VCs love you for your professional services because it's a way to actually kick off your partner ecosystem, which they love. This has so many hidden values beyond the point that it actually increases your average deal sizes. My bonus principle for you, and thank you for sticking around, hopefully you're getting value, is add professional services and charge for it. That way, your churn will go down because people are going to be more successful. Your ACV is going to go up. Your adoption is going to go up. And the time involved in actually deploying your platform will go down for your customers. Net, what that really does is it really shifts up this value equation. So even though you may charge a little bit more, the value equation actually moves upward, which is really, really powerful. This video has gone on long enough, so let's recap. To increase your MRR, here are the key principles that you need to know. Principle number 0, understand the value to price ratio. It needs to be 10x. Now, to improve and revamp your pricing strategy, number 1, charge more, grandfather the existing people. Number 2, offer them to upgrade to yearly, pay for the year upfront for a 20% discount. They save money, you get the money upfront, more money to invest in your go-to-market strategy. And number 3, introduce new features as part of a pro plan or an enterprise plan. People love it when you introduce new tiers because it gives them an opportunity to use the product in a whole new way. They're happy to pay you money because it deepens the relationship and they get value. And the bonus one is people are worried about time sometimes more than budget. So remove that objection and say, hey, look, we'll do it all for you. Just pay us more. And because you reduce the time it takes to get the value, even though you're charging more, the value goes even higher, even though you're charging a little bit more. You make more money and customers are happier. And those are the principles that you can deploy today to unlock new MRR, to increase your MRR for your SaaS business. And what I want you to do is invest in these principles, revamp your pricing, earn more money, and then go invest it in your go-to-market strategy so you can grow even faster. Because guess what? With more leads coming in, more pipeline, and with the ACV higher with this revamped pricing strategy, you're just gonna be earning more money. And you're going to be getting more money up front so you can invest more into the business. Inherently becomes a flywheel of growth for your SaaS business. So now you know what the key principles are for revamping your pricing and driving growth for your SaaS business. Now, if you want other ways to grow your SaaS business beyond pricing, then I encourage you to grab a copy of my 5-point SaaS growth strategy guide. That's a mouthful. It's an incredible guide where beyond pricing, it also goes into exactly how to revamp your entire go-to-market strategy so you can drive more leads, drive more pipeline, win more deals, and also charge more so you can accelerate the growth of your SaaS business. So to grab a copy, just go to getunstoppable.com/strategy. Getunstoppable.com/strategy. I'll also link to it below. Also, if you got value from this video, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that, and so do we. We put a lot of love into these videos. Also, I drop an episode like this every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches on how to grow your SaaS business faster. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon, and you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode. Also, if you have a fellow founder, a team member, if you're part of a WhatsApp group, a Slack group, a mailing list, any community where SaaS founders like you can get value from this video, please share this with them. It would just mean the world to us. And lastly, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I'll see you in the next episode or inside the 5-Point SaaS Growth Strategy Guide. Take care. All right, let's do the thing that does all the things. If my math is right, actually, my math is probably wrong. Let's not go into that again.